Okay, sets are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Set is one of the four built-in data types in Python, and then you can check some of my previous video to look at tuple, list, and dictionary in Python. Now, a set is a collection which is unordered, unchangeable, and unindexed. What this means is that a set does not have a specific order for its elements, so the elements are not ordered, it's randomized. Okay, everything is in random. Then unchangeable, which means it cannot be modified once it is created. Okay, once you create a set, you can only add and remove, you can't change. Okay, then on index, which simply means that you do not have sets do not have indices, and because it do not have indices, you can't refer to the element in a set by their position. All right, so how do we now create a set? So we can create a set by, let's have our variable, so I'll call it my underscore set, and I'll say equal to, then I create a curly brace. So inside this curly braces is where we are going to have our items or elements. So here we can say orange, orange, orange here. Then we can have banana, banana, and then here we can have carrot, carrot. Okay, and then you can also have okay, let's leave it here. So this is a list, this is a set with string data type. We can also create another set that we can call it number, so we can call it number underscore set, which should be equal to, then we can pass in integer value here. Okay, let's stop here. Then we can also create a boolean here, so where we have let's say boolean set, so we call it boolean underscore set, which will be equal to true. Here we have true, we have false. Okay, all right, so this is how to declare an integer set and a boolean set and a string set. Now, does it mean that a single variable cannot hold too many data types in a set? Oh yes, every variable you create in a set can hold different data types. So we can add an integer value, so I'll add it here. So I can have an integer value here, and then we can also add a boolean value here. Okay, we can also have a boolean value here, and then once we add a boolean value and then we print my set, let's print my set and let's see what we got. So I can do my underscore set, and then so when we run it, so you can see that we have different data type. We have a false here, we have one here, we have two, and then banana, carrot, orange. Now you may be wondering, why is there no true? True is not in what we just printed out. Why is that? So because the reason is because true is the same thing as one. Okay, so if I add 0 here, for example, and I do comma here and I print again, it's going to print for us 0, 1, 2, and you can see that the true and the false are no longer appearing. The reason is because 0 is the same thing as false, and false is the same thing as true. And because a set does not allow duplicate value, that is why it's not displaying them. So a set does not allow duplicate value, and because of that it sees 0 and false as 1, and then true and 1 as one item. Okay, so whenever you are declaring a variable, an item, and you use 1 is the same thing as true. Whenever you say 0 is the same thing as false in set. So that is it about set. Okay, like I said, a set does not allow a duplicate value, and because it does not allow a duplicate value, you must know that the value true and 1 are considered the same in a set and are treated as a duplicate value. Now, so how do we now get the length? So we can use the length method to know the length of our value. So I can print here, do print, and then I can pass in length, and then I can pass in my set here, and then when I run it, it's going to print 10 for us. So this is the length. So we have about 10 values here. Okay, remember that these two are not included because there's 0, there's 1. Okay, the true and the false are not included because there's 1, there's 0. Okay, now how do we know the data type we are dealing with? Okay, we can know the data type we are dealing with by using the type. Okay, so here we can say print, and then we can pass in type, and then we can pass in our variable here. So I will say my set, which also tells us the type we are dealing with. So it tells us that this is a class of set. Okay, all right, so that is it. Now, set constructor, we can use set constructor to create or to make a set. Okay, so let's do it like this. We can have a variable that said make underscore set, then where we say equal to, and then we call set. Now, set is a keyword, and because it's a keyword, you can't use it as a variable name. Okay, so when you do it something like this, then we have brackets. Okay, so with this, we can now pass in the value we want to create a set of. So here we can say, let's have some names here: Mike, John, Mike, Idris, Glory, Hannah. Okay, all right, so with this we now have a set. Okay, so this is how to use a set constructor to create a set or to make a set. So when we print make set, okay, make set, then when we run it, then we can see Mike, Glory, Hannah, John as a set. Okay. Now, you cannot access item in a set by referring to an index or a key. Okay, you can't do that in set because it doesn't have indices. But the only thing you can do is we can look to a set and for us to get the items. Okay, so for example, we can do something like this. So I can do for x in, okay, so make set. Okay, then we can print x, okay, then we can now run it, and then you can see the value that we have in our set being printed for us. Okay, so because it doesn't have indices, we can't target each of these values, but we can look through to get each of the value in a set. So this is how a set works. Okay, so the only thing we can do is to add and remove. We can only add and remove. Okay, so for us to add an item to a list, what do? We use the .add method. Okay, so how does the .add method work? So we can call our make set, for example. Okay, let's say we want to add another value, so we do dot, okay, and then we call the add method. Okay, so inside this method we can now pass the value we want to add. So here we can say yam, okay, yam, okay, and then when we now print our make set, when we print our make set and then we run it again, so you can see that we now have yam among our list of names. Okay, so and you can see how this thing is being is coming out random. Okay, so look at where this Hannah is, where John is, where Mike is, where Yam is, where Joy is. All of this is the reason why you cannot everything in Python is on, I mean everything in a set is what is unordered. Okay, the items are unordered. Now let's look for that. Let's go further to look at how we can use the dot. We can add element of a list to a set. Okay, how to add element of a list to a set. So for us to add element of a list, so let's call it our list. So we are creating a list and then adding it to a set. So that's what we want to do. So we can call it our list equal to then a square bracket. So inside the square bracket, then we can now declare a list that we want. So we can do 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, is that 5? This 5. Okay, 6 7 8 8 9. Okay, and then 10. Okay, let's stop here. Okay, so this is a list. We can add a list to a set using the dot update method. Okay, so we can do something like this. So we can do make sets. Then we now call the update method on the make sets, and then we can now pass in the value or the variable of our list. So we can now call our list here. So by so doing, we are passing this value to our make set variable. Okay, so when we now print our make sets, and we run, so you can see that we now have integer values and string values in a set. So this is how the dot update method works. Okay, so the dot update method is used to add iterables to a set. Okay, all right, so I cannot come here and pass in a string. So once I pass in a string, for example, let's say goods, for example. Okay, so what this update is going to do is it will treat it as an iterable. So you can see that it has, each word has been what iterated. Okay, so we now have each letter as an item. Okay, each letter has now become an item. Okay, so you can't pass a string to the update method. You pass an iterable to the update method this way. All right, so this is how the dot update method works in Python. Now the next one is the dot remove method. Okay, so the dot remove method is used to remove an item in a set. Okay, so how do we do that? We can do that by doing something like this. We can do something like this where we do we can call the set, make set dot. So we can now pass in, or we can now call the remove method like this, and then it takes an argument, the argument they want to remove. Okay, so what do we want to remove? Let's say we are removing banana. So because banana cannot be in the list of names. All right, is it banana? What value is there? Okay, okay, yam. Okay, so let's say we are removing yam. Okay, so we are removing yam, and when we now print make set, so you can see that we don't have yam here any longer. Okay, so this is how the dot remove method works. Okay, it's used to remove an element from a set. Okay, and that item you are going to remove must be a member of that list. Okay, so, and if it doesn't exist, it will raise an error. So like if we do something like this, let's say goats here. Okay, and we run again, so you can see that we are having key error. Why? Because goats does not exist anywhere in our sets. All right, so this is how the dot remove method works. Now the next one is we are going to look at is the dot discard method. The dot discard method and the dot remove method play this a similar role but different goals. Okay, so let's look at it. So we can do something like this. So we can call make set, then we call the dot discard method. Okay, then we can now pass in the value we want to discard. Okay, so let's pass in okay, let's pass in Hannah here, and then let's print our mixer. So when we pass in, and you can see that the goat is still there, so let's comment it out. All right, so when we run again, so you can see that we don't have this name has been removed from the set. Okay, so this is how the dot discard method works. Okay, so the dot discard method does not throw an error, okay, when a value does not exist. So if we say let's say goat, let's repeat goat here for example, okay, and then let's run it again, it doesn't throw an error. Okay, so the dot discard method does not throw an error. Okay, but once a value is there, is there. Once a value is not there, it's not there. Okay, but the dot update will always throw an error when it sees strange value or strange item. Okay, so that's that about the dot remove and the dot discard method. Now we can also use the pop method. Okay, the pop method, but one of the thing about the pop method is that it removes random value. Okay, so if we do make sets for example, and we call it dot pop method, the dot pop method does not take any argument. Okay, so it removes any value at random. Okay, and because it removes a value at random, it's not really advisable. Okay, so here we have, okay, so you can see that we don't have one here, so one has already been removed from here. Okay, so you can't tell when the dot pop, what value the dot pop method is going to remove. So if we run it again, okay, you can see that another value has been removed, and we don't know the value that has been removed. Okay, so the dot pop method is not really advisable when you are using the dot pop method. So it's not really advisable for you to do that. Now, how about when we want to clear an item from a set? So for us to clear an item, we use the dot clear method. So something like this. Okay, can do something like this. So if we do make sets, and then we call the clear method, and then we can now, and we print our make set, so it's going to return an empty set for us. Okay, we are having an empty set. Why? Because all the item in the set, all the item in the set has been removed by the dot clear method. All right, so this is how the dot clear method works in Python. Now the next one is the union method. Okay, the union method. What does the union method do? The union method will the union method will return a new set with all items from both sets. Okay, so let's say we have two sets for example. So I'm going to create a set, or so okay, we have my set here, and then we have make set. So let's look at it. So I'll now call make set, then I'll now call the union set, the union method, and then I'll now pass in my set variable. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to return a new set with all items from both sets. Okay, with all items from both make set and my set. So once I print this, okay, so you can see what we are having here. Oh, let me assign a variable. So let me call this variable x, and then let's print. So if I come here and I do x and I run again, okay, so you can see that it's returning all the value in the set for us. Okay, both in make set and my set. Okay, so this is how the dot union method works. So the dot union method return the union of set as a new set. Okay, all right, so that is that. Note that both the union method and the update method will exclude any duplicate. Okay, so always remember that both union method and update method will always exclude any duplicate value, okay, or item. So a set does not allow duplicate value, and because it doesn't allow duplicate value, the update and the union method will always remove any duplicate value. Okay, so now imagine you want to keep the duplicate value. Okay, what do we do? Okay, so if we want to keep a duplicate value in a set, what do? We can use the intersection update method. So how does that work? So let's look at our set, our two sets. What are the two things that are common among them? So now let's bring them together here. Okay, when we bring them together here and we do something like this, so what is the common thing among them? We have oranges, banana, carrot, cherry, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and true, false. And then we have John, Mike, Joy, Hannah here. And now what's the common thing among them? So let's bring something that is common. So we can do okay, let's bring banana as a common thing among them. So if I add banana here, okay, if I add banana here, and then let's now I'll now do make sets. So if I do make sets dots, okay, intersection update, okay, and then I can now pass in make my set here. Okay, remember, so this one is the make set, and then we are passing in my set. So at intersection, we want to get to update a set with the intersection of itself and another. Okay, so it's going to return for us values that are duplicated. So when we run it, oh sorry, we're not printing anything, so let me print. Let's print. So if I print make sets, okay, and I run it again, so it's going to tell us banana. Why is it telling us banana? Because that is the only common thing between my set and make set. Okay, so the intersection update will have any duplicate at all. Okay, so if we repeat, let's repeat banana here, and then let's repeat let's say Mike. Let's repeat Mike here, okay, like this, and then let's run it. So it's still going to give us banana intersection update do. Okay, so it brings the common, it keeps the duplicate value, then when we can use. Okay, so if we want to keep the duplicate values, we can then use intersection update, which will keep only the item that are present in both sets. Okay, the item that is both common within two sets. Okay, now we can assign to a variable to get the item that exists in both sets. Okay, so yeah. Alright, so this is how the intersection method works in Python. Okay, now let's move further to look at what if we want to keep. Okay, we can also keep the items that are not present in both sets, okay, with symmetric difference update method. Okay, so with symmetric update, the difference update method, we can keep items that are not present in both sets. Okay, so we have oranges, banana, so only banana is the only value here. All right, so let's do something here. So we can do make sets. Okay, then we call the dot what? Symmetric difference update. Okay, and then inside here we can now pass in my set. Okay, and then let's print make set. So we can print make set, and then when we run it, when we run this, so you can see that these are the value, okay, that the difference between them. Okay, so there's okay, there's false, there's true, there's two, okay, two, there are numbers sharing, okay. So this is what our answer will be, okay. So it will return the items that are not present in both set. So this is how set works in Python. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe and share. For more video, keep the alarm bell on, and I'll be here to give you. Thank you and God bless you. See ya.